right, what's up, Mob Crew? Can you guys put a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear me okay? This is unexpected. I've been waiting for a week and a half now, and it's kind of losing hope, but got an email about an hour ago saying that they were going to be released today, and so they have. I've got the files. I'm looking at them. There are a ton of them. Some are exhibit files. Some are to do with the more recent things with his Justice Mike real quick. There we go. But yeah, there's tons of documents. I'm kind of just looking at some here. I'm trying to find, because supposedly there is the search warrant, which is the one that we're really hoping to look at. And so I'm trying to find it, and I'll show you guys here in just a second what I'm looking at, because there are a ton of them. Some are exhibit photos, which is interesting. Like the very first one is a photo of him and his dog, which makes me wonder if this is an exhibit photo and it's a picture with him holding his dog. Does that imply that they have, hair fibers from an animal, like suggested in the search warrant for Ron Logan? So kind of exciting. So welcome everybody. Steve from True Crime Web is going to join us here real soon. I just talked to him, so he'll be coming on here shortly. So hopefully we'll kind of look at the overall picture, and then we'll start kind of opening up these files, and would like to start with the search warrant. But let me see what chat's. So I've got my setup different right now, because usually I have two screens, and usually I have the bigger monitor when I use StreamYard on my main one, so that way I can read chat a little bit easier. But since I want to be able to read these files and blow them up for you guys, since I'm going to probably have to do a lot of reading, I've got it on this monitor right now. So I can see the comments, but not as well. So I apologize. I still will take breaks and look at comments. So welcome. If everybody's wondering, the Richard Allen documents or the Delphi documents were released finally today, and we got them. And speak of the devil, there is Steve. So let me get him set up here. Hey, Steve.
How you doing today, sir?
Good. How are you, buddy?
Oh, hot. Just got off the lawnmower. It's hot here in Georgia.
Oh, I know. I see some people in the chat. Someone said it was like 100 in Florida. It's hot here in Utah, but it's been a slow, nice climb. Usually we have winter and summer, and we skip spring and fall, but it's been kind of nice. So, well, I'll show you what I'm looking at. I'm got quite a bit here, so let me show everybody what we've got going on. Okay, entire screen. Okay, just so you guys can see what I am looking at. So let me show you all the documents. So here is everything. Start from the top. This is a lot. So this is starting at the top. This is everything we've got. Now, some of this, I've opened up about like a quarter of it. Some of it's photos, which is interesting. I'm kind of curious to get your thoughts on this one. This is just the first one I opened. It's at the very top. Give me your thoughts on this. This is Exhibit B. We got him holding a dog. Now, yes. I have some ideas, but I'm curious to see what your thoughts are.
They're the same as yours. Same with what happened with the Kline when they took his dog.
So this isn't just, a good photo of Richard Allen. There's a reason why this dog may be in the picture.
Absolutely.
Interesting. Okay, so let me close this one. So what I'm gonna do here, because there's so many files and they don't really explain what's in them. I kind of have an idea of which ones are the photos, but I'm gonna start just kind of writing down which ones are which, so that way I know what we got. So this one's Exhibit B. This is a photo, and we'll just kind of open each.
What the date? If there's any data that along with that picture, it tells you anything about when it was posted.
So here it says 4/5. So this was April 5th of this year. So this is way before he was arrested at 10:39.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay, so we'll close that one. We know what that one is. All right, and we'll go on to the next one. Okay, so here, now this has the same date. So I'm assuming, okay, so this has got the same date. So it's April 5th. So I guess this is just when they collected not collected, but, put this thing together maybe.
Okay. What was his arrest date?
October, help me in chat. I want to say October 23rd, 28th. Let me know
Yeah,
that
then
chat.
this was something done by the prosecution for their case file for the court preparations. So that's why it all probably will have that same date.
Is he wearing a cap in the? Oh, that is interesting. Yeah, let's look at that one more time real quick. Is he wearing a cap? Yeah, he's got the hat. That is interesting. The dog, to me, sticks out more. But yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, he does have the hat on. Okay, so this one is 1A. So I'm just trying to get these organized because there's so many. So photo of him in chair. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, so we've opened those two. So this is a PDA. This is a subpoena. Talking about Westfield. Request for production to non-party. Not the search warrant. Okay, so we'll move on to that. So that one's good.
Oh, we have a search warrant. Really?
That's what I heard. So
that's on my Christmas wish list.
Yeah, we're gonna get to. They've got the probable cause affidavit. This is the probable cause affidavit, and I don't know if they've just got some things unredacted, but there may be more in this probable cause affidavit as well. I've got it right here, and we'll get to it here in just a minute. Just kind of going through here. Another subpoena. Okay, so we've got that. So just bear with us as we open everything up. If you see anything, Steve, just holler.
Well, I can't see at that level, so you'll just have
to.
Oh,
Let me zoom in. Okay, let's see. If I zoom in on one, well, let me zoom in on all of them. I'm just kind of going through order here. Okay, so this is a lab certificate of analysis. This is a lab test. Blow this up here. Sealed paper bag containing a sealed envelope containing a 40 S&W cartridge. Oh, this could be one of the things that they took from the home. The cartridge in item 016 was identified as had been cycled in the firearm in item 314 from Indiana State Police Laboratory case number.
Yeah, this is the one from the crime scene.
Okay. Remarks. An identification opinion is reached when the evidence exhibits an agreement of class characteristics, sufficient agreement of individual marks. And this is talking about the extractor marks, I'm assuming.
Yes, it could be from the chamber, breech facing, extractors, ejector. There's a lot of things that make contact with a round as it's cycled through a firearm.
Okay, exhibit for firearm bullet. Okay. All right. So we're going to continue down. We're just kind of knocking them down the list. If you're just coming in, welcome. We're just barely got the documents. We're barely opening each one up. I'd say there's like 30 plus PDF documents. Some are photos. Okay. This is the same thing, but more. Okay. So let me just comb through this real quick. It's kind of the same thing as the last one, but there's more.
This one here has a test-fired cartridge. So this is, if it has a test-fired cartridge, that's probably from the firearm itself. Okay, yes. Here is a description of items. A sealed cardboard containing a 6-hour 40 Smith & Wesson I guess serial number, test fired and cycle ammunition from the firearm. Okay, yes. So they this is the testing of the firearm that Richard Allen owns.
Gotcha. Okay,
It has
so
8 cartridges and another magazine containing 9 cartridges. So that's good because
interesting.
then they'll be able to compare not only the cycling of the fire of the weapons, but if there's any similar characteristics, if he hadn't fired that gun, and it's from the same batch of ammunition. We don't know that, but at some point they'll check that.
Okay. All right. So, all right, I've got this one. I'll kind of highlight this one. Maybe we can circle back to it, and maybe there'll be some interesting things that will make sense. All right. So let me continue down here and. Okay, notice of discovery. Nothing there. Okay, so number 7 is notice of discovery. Nothing here. All right, keep going. Where's that search warrant at? And of course, it doesn't say. I looked through every one. It don't say search warrant. Another document comes now. Communicated with parties. Okay, so just miscellaneous doc. Okay. All right. Oh, this is a mental health order. Okay. So we got that. Supplemental order of safekeeping. Okay. So safekeeping, nothing there. All right. So nothing for that one. It's interesting. So close that one. Temporary restraining order. Legal team. Okay. Restraining order. All right. So that's 10 down. Nothing with that one. Maybe what I'm going to start doing. Okay, so that's number 11. Maybe I should start just going with the biggest files and work my way backwards. What do you think?
Whatever
yeah,
I'm just here. I'm at your.
There's a lot here. It's taking longer than this. I mean, we got through 11 of them, but there's like 40 of these bad boys. So let's start opening the biggest ones and work our way backwards. So let's do that. So we're not, because I'm sure. So let me close these ones here. I know this motion filed is the probable cause affidavit, and I'm not sure if it has more information, but I know at the very least it has unredacted information, but it may have more. I just haven't been able to go through that. So, okay. Is this the same one? This is the biggest file. Are they the same file? Okay, I'm just looking at the case number. Motion for leave of court, subpoena third-party records. Okay, this is the biggest file. Now, to me right now, there's page 1 of 8. If I recall, that's how many pages the PC affidavit was. This is definitely the PC affidavit. Now it's got, instead of it being redacted, it's got their initials now. I'm just seeing if there's anything new in the affidavit. So far, it looks the same, although now we have names to the witnesses. So far, it looks the same. Nothing new except just having the girls' names, which
Okay, there's the interview with Richard Allen.
Yeah. Because I did look at the PC affidavit not too long ago, so I'm pretty sure this is all just except it just has their names now in there.
Okay.
It's not redacted. Just making sure there isn't something new in here. Well, actually, the bottom part's new.
Yeah, because there was a large section of it at one point that was redacted.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just what would be the best way to do this? Okay. Bear with me. I've got the probable cause affidavit here as well, so we can just kind of look to see what's in there. Oh, I think this is it right here. Yeah. Okay. Let me go to the bottom here and see where it ends. Okay, so correspond with the juvenile 7 of 8, page 8. Okay, so it ends with, along with investigators believe the statements made by the witnesses. So along with this witness, investigators believe particular vehicle matching male subject. Investigators believe Dick Sawyer, Tony Leggett. On April 3rd. Okay, I'll read this part.
There it is. Whoa.
Oh, you see something?
Okay. Go to the bottom of this page.
Yep.
There was a phone call made where he spoke to his wife. It's at the bottom. It's right in one of these pages.
Okay. Oh yeah. There it is. Okay. All right. Let me scroll up a little bit so we can.
Okay. Yeah. Is that it down there?
I'm just going to scroll up to get see where a good starting point. So obviously this kind of I don't know, addition to the probable cause affidavit. So of course I'm not going to read the entire affidavit. We know most of the story. He showed up at the bridge. We had 4 witnesses. He claims he was there but never saw the girls. So I'm going to start with Tony Leggett. So Tony Leggett, who's one of the lead investigators, and then we'll check chat here, so Tony Leggett, along with the investigators, believe the statements made by the witnesses because the statements corroborate the timeline of the death of the 2 victims, as well as coincide with the admissions made by Richard Allen. Further, the accounts relayed by Betsy Blair, these are the 4 juvenile witnesses, are similar in nature and timestamps on photographs taken by BW. So BW is, if I recall, one of the witnesses. I think BW is the one that saw the vehicle. Correspond to the times the juvenile females said they were on the trail and saw a male individual. Investigators believe Richard Allen committed this kidnapping, which resulted in killing of victim 1 and 2. From their prior conclusions, investigators believe Richard Allen was the male depicted in victim 2's video saying, "Guys, down the hill." They believe Richard Allen was carrying his Sig Sauer on that day due to the cycled round matching the firearm was located within feet of the victim 2's body. So they're talking about the unspent round between the 2 victims. They further believe he was carrying the Sig Sauer from the get this. They further believe he was carrying the Sig Sauer model P226 from the audio from victim 2's video, in which investigators believe they hear the sound of a gun being cycled and one of the victims mentioning a gun. Investigators believe after that time, victim 1 and victim 2 were removed from the bridge by Richard to where their murders occurred. So I'm going to stop there. Remember, we heard that there was mention of a little bit more to what was in the audio of the recording of the video. There was kind of like a transcript by a certain YouTuber, and apparently there was a sound of the gun being cocked, and this confirms it. And then one of the girls mentions he's got a gun. I think it was Abby who says that, according to the transcript that this guy released or whatever. So that's interesting. That's new, right? Because I don't recall them mentioning.
Well, it's always been rumored that was part of what was said.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, now it's confirmed that the sound of the gun being cocked is in the audio or in the video. I guess could be heard because obviously maybe she's got the camera away from, as he's gotten closer. So it's just heard, not actually seen. Okay, let me take a sip and we'll continue because there's more. And then we'll check chat here.
Yeah, you're about to get to the huge part.
Yeah. Okay. Charges were filed against Richard Allen on October. Oh, I was right. October 28th. I said 13th or the 28th. Those are the two dates in my head. 2022 for 2 counts of homicide. Once Richard Allen was taken into custody, he was moved to Westville Correctional Facility, which is a prison, which is not normal, but because of the short staff at Carroll County, the jail, they just figure they can't protect him well enough. And so that's why he's in this Westville prison. He has been in said facility since November 2022. When Richard Allen entered the facility, he was placed into segregation unit for his protection. In the segregation unit, his cell is equipped with a video recorder, which records his activities within the cell. There are also logs indicating when Richard Allen leaves the cell and for what purposes. He has also been seen by medical providers and mental health specialists to evaluate his physical condition and monitor his mental health. Richard Allen has the ability to use a tablet in his cell to send text messages, make phone calls, and listen to music. Kind of interesting. Richard Allen's arrival to the facility, he was placed on self-harm watch because of certain statements he made about harming himself. Throughout his stay, his mental health improved to the point that he was taken off the self-harm watch. He was also participating in recreation time and beginning to exercise. Interesting. The facility reports that he was doing well and that they had no issues or concerns. His day-to-day demeanor was that he was quiet, read a lot of books, did crossword puzzles, and exercised daily. On April 3rd of this year, Richard Allen made a phone call to his wife, Kathy Allen. In that phone call, oh my gosh, in that phone call, Richard Allen admits several times that he killed Abby and Libby. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's what I saw. Yeah.
Wow. Holy moly. Several times.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
Thoughts on that, Steve?
Well, I mean, of course, it's recorded, or they wouldn't be talking about this. It was heard, and I assume it's recorded. Most all of them are through those situations. So that's huge, and that is of this year, and just in just over 2 months ago.
That is crazy. So if you're just joining us, we just got the documents just about less than an hour ago. We're just going through them right now. This is the probable cause affidavit, but they've added, because I do remember there was like a page 8, but it's pretty much gone.
Yeah, there was one that, like I said, it was heavily redacted.
Yeah, and this is what was, I guess, redacted. But this is, let's see, April 3rd is when he did that. When did we get that? We got a probable cause up before that. So some of this is newer than, so this is more, so this would have probably been what was there, like with the audio about the gun. And then this stuff that we just read is probably more stuff they've added on since then.
What's
Um,
on the next page? What's on the next
Oh,
page?
yeah, I just wanted to check chat, and I just wanted to say, because we've got a lot of people coming in, I just want to say welcome. Thank you guys so much.
You're killing me. You're teasing me.
Oh, I know. Well, I just wanted to say I've got Steve, my co-host. For those that may be new to this channel, welcome. I'm Chris from the Mob Crew. My guest is Steve from True Crime Web. He's former law enforcement. He's done an amazing amount of things, and me and him work together, help with cold cases and to help find the missing. Great way to support us, donate, become a member, and if you want to subscribe to his channel, the link is pinned at the top. So I just want to put that, and he also has a website there that's pinned at the top, where if you want to make sizable donations to his nonprofit, which goes to him helping the cold cases of missing. Okay, back to this, and then when we finish this, we'll get to some comments, and then we've just barely started digging into this. Investigators had the phone call transcribed, and the transcription confirms that Richard Allen admits that he committed the homicides of Abby and Libby. He admits several times within the phone call that he committed the offenses as charged. His wife, Kathy Allen, ends the phone call abruptly. Wow. So that was on April. What was it? April. I'm just going to write that down real quick. April 3rd. Okay. So this is kind of way before, well, not way before, but this is kind of before, well, April 3rd. April 3rd, somewhere in almost July. Yeah, I guess that was kind of around the time his health, his weight and everything started going south. Okay. Soon after, attorneys for Allen filed an emergency motion to modify a safekeeping order. In that motion, the defense states that Richard Allen's mental state has declined because Westville Correction Facility is unfit and that he should be moved. Defense also makes allegations that his mental health has declined to the point where Richard Allen has been deprived of his constitutional right to assist in his defense of this case. Further, defense alleges that his mental capacity has declined because of his incarceration at Westville Correction Facility. Defense has also challenged that his treatment is unconstitutional. Soon after, investigators were made aware by the warden of Westville Correction Facility that Richard Allen began to act strangely. Interesting. Richard Allen was wetting down paperwork he had gotten from his attorneys and eating it. He was refusing to eat and refusing to sleep. He would go days on end refusing to sleep. He further broke the tablet that he used for text messages and phone calls. He went from making up to two phone calls a day as April 3rd to not making any phone calls at all. So I guess on April 3rd, when he told his wife, he broke. To date, Richard Allen still has not made a phone call since April 3rd. Wow. On April 14th, Richard Allen was evaluated by two psychiatrists and one psychologist to discuss his turn in behavior and whether or not there was a need for involuntary medication. The panel would also discuss moving Richard to a different facility that has psychiatric unit. From that meeting, it was determined that Richard Allen did not need involuntary medication and that he did not need to be moved to another facility. Since that meeting, Allen has begun to eat again, has begun to sleep. His behavior has begun to return to what it was prior to making the admission on April 3rd. Interesting. Okay, one more paragraph. Investigators believe the information that Westville facility has gathered since Allen was placed in that facility is important to investigation. Investigators believe that there is video evidence that will include his admissions. Oh, wow. So, because obviously they got a video recording him recording the phone call. Interesting. Investigators believe there is video evidence that will include his admissions, his admission to guilt, plus his behavior prior to the submission and directly after. That's interesting. Because, yes, he admits to his wife, he confesses, and now it's, if he is guilty, it's he kind of broke. Okay. Investigators also believe logs kept of his daily routines are important to determine when he was in his cell and when he was removed and the reasons he was removed. Further, any records of his physical exams or mental exams will be important to determine the state of his mental and physical health. This info is needed to refute the allegations made by the defense emergency motion to modify safekeeping order. The evidence is also necessary to refute the allegations of diminished mental capacity and other possible defenses. It may also be important as the state introduces additional evidence gathered, including admissions made by Richard Allen himself. Investigators believe all the information is important in the continued investigation for the homicide of Abby and Libby German. Request made further. I'll just read this. This request is made for the purpose of investigating regarding homicide. Further, in response to the observations made by the investigating officer, the state believes that Richard Allen is a suspect in the criminal acts. The state believes that the employed records would be able to confirm or support information the law enforcement has acquired as a result of the homicide investigation, which makes sense. And therefore, and this is by the prosecuting attorney, Nicholas McLeland. Wow. So pretty wild. We haven't even got to the search warrant, and that's pretty wild. Any thoughts while I go to the chat here for a minute, Steve?
Well, the phone call is huge, but
Sure.
there are certain things called false confessions. But if he's confessing to her, and of course there's a large disclaimer on phone calls and a notice to all parties that anything said will be recorded if it's like it here is in other states. But I would imagine that would be the same there. But if he's confessing to his wife, who else has he confessed to, including law enforcement, jail staff, state staff, medical, whoever? And in some of those confessions, if he's put anything in there that's supporting his knowledge of certain things at the crime scene, that will be huge, which is more than just saying, yes, I did it. Anyone can say those words, but
Uh,
did he put something else with other confessions saying this is how I did it? This is why the bullet was there. This is I mean, there's a lot of things, or these are certain injuries, or how they were dressed, or certain acts that were committed, or certain injuries, and anything that would support his knowledge of the crime. If he confessed to any of that, then of course that's huge.
sure. Sure. Josh the Pause asked, did he cycle the gun again at the crime scene? So what it sounds like is there's the audio of him cocking the gun. Would you call that cycle?
Well, it depends. Some people carry guns and they'll just have rounds in the magazine, and then
Uh-huh.
when they present the gun, they'll load it.
Uh-huh.
And then they may go about and reholster, and he's in the habit, if that's what he does, don't know, and he may have
Yeah.
been at the crime scene and redrawn the weapon for another reason or something,
Sure.
and cycled it again out of just habit. I don't know, but there's a
And
lot of possibilities. Or they could
yeah,
have been in a struggle, and
it
uh,
got
one of the girls could have had the slide and cycled it herself
uh-huh.
while fighting over the firearm. There's so many different ways guns can be cycled.
Interesting. Yeah, I know we kind of had a show about that when we first learned of the unspent bullet and all the different ways, which is very interesting. Give me a second. I'm just going to write down the file size on these two so I know that we've gone through these two. Let me just look at this other one real quick. This looks just like a carbon copy. I just want to make sure it is, and then we're going to move on. So this is 2 of 7 pages. So I wonder if this is the original one. Yeah, this looks much more like the original one. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Let's see. Was this at Okay, let me I want to see something. So at the end of this one, it talks about the gun being cycled. So alone eventually statements made by the witnesses. So there's a little something here too. Yeah, that wasn't in this one. Let me just double check. This is weird. They've got like the same thing, but that wasn't. Yeah, that's huge there. God, it's like they've got like a bunch of these PC affidavits where at the end they've got a little bit more information. But they're all got little added things at the end because this one is different. This isn't big, but I just want to read it because this isn't in the other one. I don't think so, unless it's switched around. Additional information gathered from the defendant, Richard Allen, shows that at the time of the arrest, Richard Allen was employed at CVS in Delphi, Indiana. Investigators spoke to representatives from CVS who stated that they are in possession of Richard Allen's work records. Investigators believe the work records would help determine when he was at work in the CVS located in Delphi and when he was not. Investigators believe from talking to representatives from CVS, Richard Allen's personal files from CVS have information that is important to investigators. Investigators believe Richard Allen's work records and personal files from CVS will have evidence that is important to this investigation.
Okay. Here at the end of this, that paragraph there where he's cycling, investigators believe the second paragraph up.
This one here or this one?
That one there.
Investigators believe Richard Allen committed this kidnapping, which was in that last one. They believe Richard Allen was carrying the 6 hour on that day due to the cycled round matching the firearm within feet of the victim two's body. They further believe he was carrying the 6 hour from the audio. Okay, yeah, so that was in the last one.
Well, the point being is that he cycled the gun before leaving the bridge.
Yeah, so it was caught on audio apparently as well.
Yeah, and I honestly do believe that there may be video of it. I don't know if it is or not, but I've always thought it was strange that they stopped it at 48 frames.
Yeah, literally, yeah, yeah. I think it's 48 frames.
And I always, and I do believe that that's just my personal opinion that there is a video of that gun.
Right. Yeah, it's possible they could have altered it. Okay, so here we got another probable cause affidavit. It's similar to the last one. Which has got a different ending on it. Again, why? This is so weird. Okay, so it's so weird how they put this together. Okay, so we know that. We read that. Richard Allen was sweating down paperwork. Okay, so this is carbon copy. So for whatever reason, they duplicated this one. So 6,118. All right, kilobytes. So that one's good. Let's see this one. Another PCA. 8 pages again. So weird. There's like 4 of these guys. And same thing. Okay. Let me just check the middle just in case they change things on us here. And I may go back to one of these just to make sure that we could, because I've got the original pulled up as well. Okay, so that one, same thing. So we've got like 3 or 4 of these PC affidavits. So that's 6,000. So I've got that one. All right, so we've knocked those ones. Here is the biggest file so far. Oh, let's see. Oh, okay. This might be interesting. 18 pages. Holy Hannah. Okay. All right. Let me just proofread this for a second, and we'll go through it. Oh, this. Oh. Okay. Yeah, we'll read this because something tells me there's something interesting in here. Okay. Whew. All right. I hope everybody's ready. Let me get to these real quick. Sweet Dreams, thank you so much for the $3 super sticker and as well as your membership. Appreciate all your hard work. Thank you so much, Sweet Dreams, for being a member for 7 months. As a matter of fact, I just dropped a new member video 2 days ago. With the includes drone footage, I've got a lot of extra. And Mandy, thank you so much for becoming a member and supporting this channel. You are so awesome. So let me get caught up on chat and we're going to read this. This looks like this has got some stuff that relates to some of these files as well. Post link to docs. Yeah, I can do that as well. You guys want... I mean, just bear with me one second so I can do that. Okay. No, that's not it. Why did it do that? Copy link address. Let me try that again. There we go. Okay, that should be, let me make sure that came up right. And let me know if that link works, guys, in the chat. So I'm going to continue here and read this. The state's objection to defendant's motion to suppress. So that on May 19th of this year, defendant filed a motion to suppress evidence seized as a result of the search warrant executed on the home of the defendant on October 13th. That's why I had 13 and 28 in my head. That's why. Okay. God, I can't believe it. All right. That the defense alleges that the search warrant was unreasonable under the Indiana and federal constitution, that it lacked probable cause, that it failed to establish that the items to be seized were in the residence or could be expected to be in the residence, that the affidavit failed to provide particular information, that particular items related to the particular crime would be found in the home, and that the affidavit failed to connect generic items to actual items that were possibly used in the crime. That in September 2022, while reviewing the evidence in the investigation into the homicides of Abby and Libby, investigators discovered an interview that was done with Richard Allen in 2017 with the Officer Dan. That in 2017 interview, Richard Allen admitted being on the trail that day that Abby and Libby went missing. He
So now
stated,
we know the date. So we know that in September is when it all turned around.
Well, oh, that's when these guys came across his interview from 2017. Yeah. That he stated that he was on the trail between 1:30 and 3:30. That on October 13th, investigators invited Richard Allen and his wife Kathy Allen to speak to them and follow up that interview done in 2017. Ooh, interesting. That both Richard Allen and Kathy Allen came to interview on their own on October 13th. We're not under arrest. We're free to leave the interview at any time. That investigators learned from those interviews that Richard Allen reaffirmed that he was in fact on the trails that day that Abby and Libby went missing, and further admitted to being on the high bridge. That he also told investigators he was wearing blue jeans and a blue or black Carhartt jacket with a hood, and that he was wearing a head covering. I mean, you might as well just tell him, hey, I'm I'm the guy in the video.
Yeah, look at the picture.
Yeah, that's, jeez, wow. That further, Richard stated that he did own guns and that the guns were in his home. That investigators learned through Kathy, the wife of Richard Allen, still had guns and knives. Yeah, that's what I'm interested about. Because we know the gun, I'm interested about the knives, or knives in the home, along with the blue Carhartt jacket. So Kathy, the wife, said, yeah, he still had the guns and knives in the home, along with the blue Carhartt jacket. Investigators believe the firearm was involved in the abduction and homicide of Abby and Libby because of the unspent 40 caliber round found between the two bodies. Investigators believed a knife was used in the homicide of Abby and Libby. Interesting. That the clothes that Richard Allen described wearing that day he was on the trails matched the description of the man seen on the bridge from the video taken from Libby's phone. Totally agree there. That it was also gathered that Richard Allen still possessed the firearms, knives, and the clothing, and said items were in the house.
That 15 is huge. If he still has all those items.
Yeah. Right.
And it says
How did
9.
that? Yeah. No, I'm just checking chat here. Okay, that's what I just want to see. Link works. Thanks, Chris. All right. Thank you so much, Sea Turtle. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to spend your time with us this afternoon, going over all these new documents being released. All right, let's continue. Let's see, I left at 15. The probable cause affidavit covers all the information that law enforcement had gathered in the investigation up until October 13th. Investigators applied for the search warrant on October 13th, and the same was granted that day. Herein attached is State Exhibit 1. State Exhibit 1. I'm going to write that down so I couldn't remember. Exhibit 1. Okay. Investigators went to the residence of the defendant located at Whiteman Drive in Delphi, Indiana, knocked on the door, executed the search warrant around 5 p.m. on October 13th, and the search was complete around 7 p.m. Oh, wow. Didn't seem like they were there that long. For 2 hours. The defendant and his wife were asked to be out of the residence while the search warrant was executed, but were allowed back in the residence immediately afterwards. Oh boy, here we go. Investigators found several items in the residence, including firearms, electronic devices. Ooh, interesting. All of which is outlined in the search warrant return attached here in a State Exhibit 2. Oh, here we go.
That's what I want.
Yeah, we will look that up right after we finish this. Exhibit 2. Okay. That's what we want. Perfect. Now, for the search warrant to be valid, it must be accompanied by an affidavit that establishes probable cause, which is a sufficient basis of fact that exists to permit a reasonably prudent person to believe that a search of this premises will uncover evidence of a crime. Information particularly describing the house or place to be searched and the things to be searched for. Just some redundant stuff there. That when sufficiency of the search warrant is challenged under the Fourth Amendment. Cause determination. Okay, just nothing important really. They're just referring to laws really right now as far as what they're searching. The state believes that the affidavit established the items to be seized were in the residence by statements made by Richard Allen and his wife Kathy. The state believes that the affidavit provides particular information. Here we go with the particular information that particular items related to particular crime will be found in the home based on statements made by Richard and his wife. Okay, this Okay, this regurgitates a little bit. Okay, all right, cool. All right, so Exhibit 2. Here we go. Let's find that bad boy. Okay, so let me knock this one off. State Exhibit 2. Where are you? See if I can stretch these names out real quick here. Oh, it doesn't tell me much there. Oh, I'm getting an echo here, Steve. Oh, that's better. Never mind. I'm good. That was weird. Okay, so I don't see anything that says State Exhibit 2, but we'll just continue going through the big documents and working our way back. So not that one. Not that one.
Is it on by dates filed or anything, or is it all that?
It's got all the same dates on them.
Oh, man.
627. Yeah. Come on, give it to us. Special judge assigned. Okay, nothing there. Response filed. Talks about his jail cell size. Request to access court. Okay, I know that's just to access these records. Okay, no, well, we're knocking them down here, so we're going through them. Okay, not that one. Not that one. Not that one. I don't think it's any of these proposed orders. Probable cause affidavit. Another one of these? Is this the original one? This is the original one. Okay, so there's the original. All right, let me close these. All right, getting closer. Okay, it's not that one. Okay, so it's none of these proposed orders, so we'll just skip those. Petition filed. Gag order. No. Okay. Petition filed.
I mean, it should be titled something with the search warrant or the return, but is what the title should have, at least a return in it. And it may not have been released. They may not release that. I know they did.
Let me know in chat if you guys know if anybody. I mean, we're getting through them, so I mean, we're gonna. I know there's some other big files order issued. Just the way they're labeled. I mean, if we had an attorney, I'm sure they could explain more some of this decorum order.
Yeah, it should have something to do with search warrant, probable cause, and return to the court.
Okay.
It would be part of the title, I would expect.
Order issued. These are all pretty much the same. Okay, so went through the order issued, objection filed. See, the objection filed right here, this is the probable cause affidavit. But
Yeah,
it's
the
called
objection files are huge for the fact that the defense is trying to get those suppressed. And they'll always be interesting. Anything the defense wants suppressed is going to be interesting.
Okay. This is mental health here. Okay. All right. I'm getting through them. Motion. Can't be the motion to quash. Okay. Motion filed. See, these four here are the PCA affidavits.
In chat, it says, look at objection filed 6/27/23, page 16. 1334.25, whatever that means.
1334 point. They're all labeled that.
Page 16. And it was, I don't know.
Order, what was it? Order issued? What was the first part?
Chat jumped on me. It says, look at objection filed 3D 6/27/23.
Where is
1334.25, page 16.
Page 16. Oh, here we go. Oh my God, there it is. Oh shit. Oh, this is it.
Thank you, Angie.
Yes, this is it. Oh my God. Okay, here we go. Here's the search warrant. Okay, I'm going to take a sip here. It's going to be huge. Okay. All right. Search warrant for the Whitman Drive. You are hereby authorized and ordered in name of state of Indiana with the necessary and proper assistance to enter into upon the property, including the residence, outbuildings, including a wooden shed on the property, and a 2016 black Ford Focus SE vehicle located at the Whitman Drive in Delphi. Said property being the residence of Richard Allen. The residence located on the property is described as a ranch-style house that is brick with the two-car garage, as further depicted in the attached photograph. The property also contains a wooden shed. There is also a 2016 black Ford Focus located on the property. Law enforcement is ordered to diligently search for any and all information or evidence of the crime and the homicide violation. Specifically to search for handguns, 40 cal ammunition, knives, blue sweatshirts, jackets, black sweatshirts, jackets, clothing, electronic devices, and a cell phone with phone number and other cell phones, and any other electronic devices located in or on the locations described. So outhouse, the outbuildings. Law enforcement authorized to search these areas. Okay, let's get into it.
No fanny pack.
All right, so same thing. Okay, so February 13th. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, affidavit for search warrant. Okay, so it just says the same thing here. Just proofreading this. Okay, so this is PC affidavit right here. Same verbiage. Same verbiage.
Yep. Oh, that's pretty much what earlier.
Yep. Okay, here we go. Detective Liggett, that's Tony Liggett, has been a member of law enforcement 21 years. In his role as a deputy detective, he has investigated numerous crimes, including homicides. He's also been trained on how to investigate offenses such as homicide. Okay. Okay, so here is property record and receipt for items. Let me see if I can blow this up a little bit more.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, anytime. Just let me know. So here we go. We got some item numbers. MC8 sealed cardboard box containing one black 6-hour 40 caliber handgun. Serial number, yeah. MC9 sealed plastic bag containing one 40 caliber S&W cartridge found in wooden keepsake. Ooh, found in wooden keepsake box on dresser between both closets in master bedrooms. Now, I guess you could say, you'd want to keep your ammunition or whatever, but keepsake box. What do you think about that verbiage?
Well, I mean, I don't know if it was a gift from someone on a special occasion. I mean, and some of, you know, I don't. That's about the only thing I could think of. I don't know. I don't own a 6-hour. Of all the firearms out there, I don't own a 6-hour.
Yeah.
I had to borrow one whenever I was doing the testing that we did on that.
Okay, so there's more. Sealed plastic bag containing another cartridge found inside the 6-hour handgun. Sealed plastic bag containing two magazines, one filled with the 940 caliber cartridges and one with an 840 caliber cartridge. We kind of learned earlier. Sealed paper bag containing one black 6-hour handgun case containing one trigger lock with two keys. Sealed paper bag containing a paper wrapped wooden weave box containing two audio Vox device, one silver Motorola flip phone. Interesting. One silver Motorola flip phone, four car charges, 3 wall outlet charges. Sealed plastic bag containing one Lexar compact flash, 1 gig memory card. Whoa.
Yep.
Whoa. Interesting. There's more. Let's see what timestamp. So this is on October 13th. Sealed paper bag containing one pair of dirty Thorogood boot size 715. Oh, interesting. I'm going to write down a shoe size. Thorogood boots. Thorogood boots. Interesting. I want to look at those. Sealed paper bag, dirty black boots, size 6.5 regular. So not much description on there. Sealed envelope containing one silver double-edged knife in a silver metal sheath. Sealed envelope containing one brown gold and silver folding knife. Oh my gosh, this guy's got lots of stuff. Sealed envelope containing black sheath containing one brown gold and silver folding knife. So the knife and the sheath for the knife. Sealed envelope containing one black sheath containing one black handled silver bladed imperial knife. Jeez. Sealed envelope, one black sheath containing one foldable knife with a red gold handle. Sealed envelope sheath containing two Ozark Trail knives. Those Ozarks, I think you get those at like Walmart, that brand, two trail knives. One black sheath containing one knife with a wood ivory handle and gold guard. Holy Hannah, this guy's got tons of knives. Sealed envelope containing one rusted old timer folding knife, one sharp two-bladed folding knife, one black folding Gerber knife, and one black folding knife. Gerber knife. Now, isn't that more of a like a Gerber? Is that more kind of like a K-bar type?
No, I mean Gerber makes. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they have all different types of models.
Oh, did they? Okay. Wow. Sealed envelope containing one red-handled Crossley multi-tool, one blue multi-tool, one green and gold National Guard multi-tool, and one black multi-tool. I'm assuming those are the ones that have got like the screwdriver, but they have knives as well in them.
Yes, I got one in my pocket.
Yeah. One black sheath containing a brand-handled silver-bladed saber Bowie knife. Now that sounds like, yeah, I can do some serious damage. A Bowie knife is that's kind of like That's not like machete, but that's close to it, right?
Yes.
I mean, I'm not a huge knife person, so
Oh yeah,
but
and which
but
in the psychological world of crime and profiling, his fascination with knives
this is
plays
big.
into the narrative. Now, there's a lot of people that collect knives, and they're that never commit a crime, but uh, with him currently and him being the focus of the investigations, they will look at these, and hopefully something will come back processed and um, that will lead to more evidence.
Yeah, and thank you, Angie. Go back to the previous objection. Obviously, she mentioned this earlier before when we were still looking for a search warrant. Yeah, I didn't realize I hadn't gone through all the pages on that one file because there's so many of the same things. So it's but thank you so much, Angie, for the $20 and letting us know what page had everything on it. And let me just get to some of these. We'll finish this and then we'll check chat. I'll just get through a couple of these. Sending love and hugs from Grand Junctions, Colorado. Thanks for all you do, Chris and Steve, and y'all mob members. Love you all. Thank you so much, Real Pocahontas. That is so sweet. You are so awesome.
I'll get blue light for these guys.
Thank you. All right, we'll get to some more here in just a minute. Let's finish this. One blue jacket with red stripes, Adidas. Interesting. I'm gonna write that down. Adidas. So blue jacket with red stripes. Now I'm convinced it's most likely the Carhartt jacket he had on, but that's interesting. One blue quarter zip sweatshirt, one black and green fox hooded sweatshirt. Interesting. One black and gray North End coat, one blue Carhartt coat. That's the big one. One pair of Timberland boots, size 8. Gosh,
He's got
she's got every size you want.
from 6.5 to 8.
Yeah, interesting. But I do
They're taking
understand.
those boots. If he crossed that creek in the mud, and they have any type of cast, that's interesting.
Ooh,
They're
right.
looking, yeah, if they can match up any of those boot soles.
Interesting, right. Because he was muddy and bloody. So yeah, because if you cross that river, you would get that soil wet. You would probably leave some tracks.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Interesting. One pair of blue Arizona jeans, 34.29. Another pair of Arizona jeans. Another pair of blue Arizona jeans. So he's got 3 pairs of these Arizona jeans. 2 pairs of these Levi Strauss jeans, 34 by 29. One winter gray hat with fur-like fibers. One black and red UFC hooded sweatshirt with full zip. One quarter zip George sweatshirt, black and blue quarter Walmart sweatshirt. Yeah, a lot of these are Walmart. One George sweatshirt. So, yeah, a lot of these brands, Walmart. Everything. These Arizona jeans, the Levi Strauss, if I'm correct. The George, I know. I think they even have UFC stuff there as well. Fruit of the Loom, of course. Kenneth Cole, I'm not sure. Kenneth Cole sweatshirt. Fruit of the Loom sweatshirt. A blue starter's sweatshirt. A black spider hooded sweatshirt. Interesting. One blue sweatshirt with an old label. One blue Adidas sweatshirt. Jeez, boy, they took his whole wardrobe.
yes.
One brown. Ooh, here we go. One brown fitted cap with a small bill. Ooh, one brown fitted cap with small bill.
Mm-hmm.
The driver Ivy cap. You name
Yeah.
it. There's 1,000 different names of the golf hats. Because in my opinion, I think that looks more like a hat than a hood. That's just my opinion. And I would lean towards some kind of Ivy cap driver's hat. That's interesting. One brown fitted cap with small bill. Then we got black WRI stocking cap, one black NASCAR Ford Racing stocking cap, one black Adidas stocking cap, one red, white, gray, brown Canada stocking cap, one gray black Adidas skull cap, one gray white NFL Colts skull cap. And we can look these up as well if you're wondering what these are. One brown Carhartt stocking cap. Jeez. 10 pairs of gloves and one extra glove. Blue fabric strap, one blue-green fabric strap. HP laptop, HP Pavilion laptop. One plastic bag containing multiple headbands. One cardboard phone box containing miscellaneous cellular information. So I'm assuming it's one of when you get a new phone, it's one of those boxes. Sealed paper bag containing one Winchester Supreme Elite empty ammo box. Sealed envelope containing one smaller envelope containing one Cruiser Micro 2 gig flash drive with Rick on the back. Interesting. 1 terabyte Western Digital hard drive. So that's a portable hard drive. I think most are familiar with 1 terabyte. One Samsung phone in a floral case. Miniature katana with a red tassel. Jeez. Black sheath. One fillet knife from Garage. Black sheath from the Best Defense knife from Garage. One black external hard drive and cord. One black iPod. 132 megabyte SD card and another 256, so another SD card. Black sheep with animal imprinted on front. One large wooden handle knife with rusted blade from Garage. Sealed bag containing 5 miscellaneous vehicle chargers, miscellaneous wall outlet chargers, phone accessories, one HP laptop charger, 2 pagers, 1 black, 1 blue. Wow, that's still keeping the pagers. 3 Motorola and 1 LG flip phones. 1 LG Verizon smartphone. So that'd be something, one of his newer phones. 1 cardboard box containing 1 LG Verizon side slide smartphone. 1 Motorola Verizon smartphone. Guy's got quite a few. Containing older cell phones, the Audio Vox, 1 Nokia and 1 Motorola. Nokia 7705 twist cell phone and documents. Two cards. Plastic bag containing custom vehicle operations vehicle cover bag containing motorcycle cover. Well, they're taking everything.
And he's never had a phone that he ever got rid of.
God, no. Yeah, we're gonna learn a black Pixel 3a XL cell phone with OtterBox case, black Samsung Galaxy A42 5G. That's a newer phone. That's actually could be one of his latest phones. I got to see when that came out. I think that's what I think I had that phone, Galaxy A42. Kind of crazy. Sealed paper bag sealed by Steve Mullen containing 1 Aquafina water bottle. So that'd be for his DNA saliva, maybe.
Oh yeah, I mean,
yeah. Containing a silver LG Singular wireless flip phone. Jeez, yeah, he keeps all his phones here. Almost done. Cutting of carpeted area underneath the spare tire of the Ford Focus. Oh, that's big. We'll let you explain that here. We'll finish these last 2. These are from the vehicle. 2 plastic wrappers containing 1 swab from the driver lap belt and 1 swab from the driver's shoulder belt of the Ford Focus. Envelope containing 2 plastic wrappers containing 2 swabs from the passenger side carpeted floorboards. But this one, carpeted area underneath the spare tire of the Ford Focus. So do you want to explain that?
Well, more likely during the processing, they had some type of presumptive testing they were doing on the vehicle, luminol or other different types of stuff, and they had some hits. And from those hits, they took swabs and secured those items. I'm hoping they secured the items along with the swabs. I would expect, and and they did the return. And so we'll see where that leads, and if because you can have the presumptive test come back, and then when you submit it, doesn't mean that you're going to automatically get a DNA profile from a victim or any type of DNA, but you can have that things test positive, and um, how conducive and productive they are um, will only be known in the future during the um, um, as testing and technologies improve, and have all the tests been completed? I don't know, but the carpeted area underneath the spare tire, which is a odd place, did he store something in that hidden area, such as a weapon that might have been contaminated? Uh,
Uh-huh.
for them to go to that area and secure it, there has to be
Yeah, to
something
cut it
there.
out.
Yes, yeah. There's a reason for that.
So maybe
Um,
like there was a stain or they
yeah,
some
they had something that indicated that there's something they need to follow up and test, and hopefully they came back with some evidence.
Terry, geez, he's the Joker. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's so funny. I mean, it's not funny, but yeah, from the Dark Knight where the Joker's arrested and they're taking. He's got like 20 knives on him.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, but
one
the
of the
lap
best.
belt, I expected the lap belt and the shoulder belt.
Uh,
Absolutely, that there would be contamination if he had it on his clothing, or even on his hands, and because you touch your body and your clothing, and if you operate, and you, as almost all these vehicles, you know, you can't drive them without the seatbelt thing dinging, and um,
yeah.
and you'll do it out of habit, and through those habits, you can cross contaminate, and so hopefully you did.
Interesting. And thank you so much, Fly Eagles Fly. I love the Eagles. Huge fan. So thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. You are so awesome, and that helps support this channel and what we do here. Thank you so much, and I shout out to Debbie who suggested um, I can organize the size from top to biggest to the smallest, which I completely forgot. So thank you so much, because obviously the bigger files are going to have um, most of the interesting stuff. So we have gone through most of this. Let's see. Let me double check. So let me cross these off my list here. So I've got that one. We did that one. We did that one. We did that. Did that. Did that. 5, 4, 1, 3, 6, 40. We did that one. 146, 70. Okay. And then we'll recap everything, and then so we did all those, and let's see what this is here. Okay, so this just talks about his safekeeping order. So this is really just how he's being treated. I'll just read this one part here. He's being housed in a segregated unit, 7 by 12. I heard 8 by 12, with a roll mat and 2 bunks. That's weird because actually I thought it was one bunk pinned to the ground. So this may be old information. Okay, so that's just safekeeping. Subpoena says T. Documents.
And all that return, did you see anything about any animal hair or anything of the DNA profile?
No. No, I did not. I was keeping an eye out for that. Um, yeah, because I want to know what's up with the picture of him and the dog.
Hmm.
It's Exhibit 2. Yeah, what was the pictures of? Because there's also, remember, they took pictures of the shed, and then they also dug. So they leave some stuff out here. Oh, okay. I just went through that one.
Well, that was interesting. It's got
Yeah.
the return, which is I wanted the search warrant and the returns, the two things I wanted of his residence. So,
And there might be, so like I said,
yeah,
there's go ahead.
going through. I mean, how much have we? You've got. It'd take a month to go through all of this.
There's definitely a lot for sure. And like I said, they've got so many of the same PCA affidavits. So if we look here, so I've got them in the order of biggest files, and these 4 right here, actually 5. I think all these 5 here, all have the PCA affidavit story at the top. So, so if I were to go to the top here, so it's got the.
Yeah, they just copy and paste.
But then, we went through one of them, which had some extra stuff at the end, where we learned about the gun being
That's where it's all going
cocked.
to change. They'll use the same probable cause for each and every request for another, whatever they're searching or whatever steps they're taking. And it's all the same probable cause.
There is a little bit more in this probable cause affidavit, I'm now noticing. Should I read it one time and then we'll recap, and then let's see, what time do we start? 1:00. We start
Almost
at
hour and a half.
Okay. Because I just realized there are some new added things in this affidavit. Nothing huge, but let's see what the chat's saying here. Let me open up a couple more files real quick. Oh, I just clicked on the wrong dang thing. No, don't do that. Just double make sure there's nothing else. Let me close these. Court order. Yeah, this would be definitely interesting. Yeah, something I have to go through and do a video on later. So let me check the chat and just kind of thank everybody for being here. If you can, please hit that like button. That really helps us. And of course, for those just kind of coming in late, we'll recap everything, the big things that we learned, which there are. There's many. Straight off with the bang with the confession. Go ahead, Steve. Were you going to say something?
Yeah, just the confession part of it is going to be huge. Not so much just that, yes, I did it, but if he confessed and had any supporting evidence of certain things to that shows that only knowledge that the offender would have. Of course, he says he's there and describes the clothing, and it's huge. Absolutely.
Yeah, and so there is a recorded conversation with his guilty admission to his wife. We don't know the context of it, but it says that there are multiple confessions on this one phone call.
Mm-hmm.
And then they added also, which I think is very interesting, they have video of this. They have video of him calling on his tablet or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So to get his reaction. And then apparently after this happened, which was on April 13th, right? Or April 3rd? April 3rd. I got April 3rd.
Yeah, it's April 3rd.
Yeah, April 3rd. Then from there is when apparently his health just went, his mental, everything went down the drain. But then they did say he has been getting better. They has been eating, but he did go through a phase after this admission, which Sounds like guilt, like to me.
Oh yes, and hopefully in the clothing he kept, because you can wash clothing, but if blood's set within the clothing, it's going to have reactions to some of the presumptive testing, and I'm sure, and hopefully they have some of that clothing that uh, if he is the one involved, um, that it would be in even the DNA profiles. Just because you wash something doesn't mean that all the DNA is is gone. There is a possibility of that. 5 years of multiple washings, though, I don't know. We'll just have to see where science is when it gets to court.
Jennifer, thank you so much for the 4.99 super sticker. So we'll recap everything. I just want to say my co-host today, for those that may be newer to this channel, is Steve from True Crime Web. He's former law enforcement. He's done forensic. He's been in the SWAT. He's been a detective. He's done it all. Amazing guy. I get have the pleasure to work with behind the scenes. And if you're not subscribed, please, if you could subscribe to his channel. It's pinned right at the top there, Steve from True Crime Web. So yeah, let's just kind of recap. So we talked about obviously the first thing we kind of learned in no specific order, but this confession that we had been hearing about for the last almost month now was on a phone recording to his wife on April 3rd. And then his health kind of declined after that. They said he was doing well before that. And then after that, he went downhill. But then they did say that he has been recently getting back to eating and on kind of a schedule. Then from there, we learned a little bit more about, and as a matter of fact, I wonder if it's in this one as well. We learned a little bit more about what was rumored to be in the 43-second video, and that is when he is apparently walking up to the girls. It is heard on the audio from the video that Libby recorded that he does cycle the gun, cock the gun, cycle the gun, and then Abby is heard saying gun, which from what I understand, she says something to the effect of, he's got a gun. Oh my gosh, or something like that. Oh my gosh, he's got a gun. And then, let's see, is it in here? Yeah, see, this one ends differently. They all kind of end differently in different spots of the PC affidavit. I'm going to definitely have to look at this closer and see, because I wouldn't be surprised if there's some little nuggets in here that may be added. Yeah.
Flashing through this stuff, there's so much in there. I'm sure there is.
Yeah. Then we move on to what they. Then we learned that Richard Allen, of course, he had the little. Where he told a conversation officer that he was there that he was there, and so when they brought him and his wife in on October 13th, to be interviewed, he told them the same story and told them what he was wearing, and literally admitted he was wearing a blue jacket, blue Carhartt jacket, blue jeans, even as far as a face mask or some kind of face cover. So, I mean, one of the witnesses did describe seeing somebody with something covering his face. So he admitted to that. That same day, they got a search warrant. Then they raided his, went to his house, secured many articles of clothing. This guy loves to keep every phone he's ever had, even back to pager era, because they got pagers. So they've got probably every cell phone he's ever had. So that'll be huge, right? Because
so they go in there and see what the searches were, and as the evolution of different models and phones, got to the technology which we have now, when they recharge all those phones, because they took all the chargers, so who knows what's in that treasure trove of information and phones that he has. searches, phone calls, contacts. So it might be extremely powerful evidence.
I've got some people saying, yeah, could you read one? I may do that for the final part of the show. Let me pull up the biggest one. Let's see, let me see here. But I'll first recap everything, and then I'll read it, and we'll see if there's anything new. But let me just get caught up in chat here. And thank you so much to my mods, Michaela and Dee. I can't, because we've got a big full house in here. I can't see all my mods. But thank you to everybody, and especially my mods. When we got 1,000 people in here, it's really hard. It's a lot of work for my mods. So special shout out to my mods who do a wonderful job. Okay, thank you so much, Michaela. So yeah, let me recap, and then we'll read this and see if there's anything else new. Because I did see, as I'm kind of proofreading this, I do see a couple of things that may be new. Nothing huge. I don't know. We'll see. So then they had search warrant. They took a bunch of knives. This guy. So not only does he keep every cell phone he's had, he's got a huge knife collection. Which is interesting because that's how the girls in the Ron Logan search warrant is described, as they were attacked with a bladed weapon, is how I believe it's worded. The Bowie knife is interesting, I think, because the Bowie knife that's a big knife, right? I know I asked you about that.
Yeah, it's larger than typically. It's larger than a normal knife. I mean, it's somewhere between a large knife and a machete. Some of them are. You go to knife shows, and they've always have some of them that larger than life. But I think it was after Jim Bowie. I think is what it was designed after.
Yeah, because when you think Rambo knife, you think either the K-bar or a Bowie knife. So this is that's why that particular knife, because there's so many. But when I saw Bowie, I'm thinking, because that could do some, not like a knife can't do damage, but this kind of knife it's a serious knife. Now this may not be the exact way it's, it could be something like this, but they're big knives.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I think after 5 years, I think he just felt somebody else is going to go down for it. And maybe especially I think, with the tension towards Kegan and Tony, for the last year before his arrest, maybe he thought, oh God, somebody else is going to get thrown under the bus for it, and I'll be good, Yeah, if we could, thanks. If we can't get those please hit that like button. And we'll read this one probable cause affidavit one time just to see if there's anything. Don't go that fast. See if there's anything new, because they've got like 4 versions of these in these new document dumps, and at the end of them, there's different things that are added in. It's nothing huge, but some of them, it's kind of interesting. This is the original one. Okay. All right. We'll read this one more time. So February 13, 2017, approximately 1:50, Abby and Libby were dropped off by a family member at the Monon Bridge Trail off the Country Road 300 North. Tuesday, February 14th, at approximately 12:17, the girls were found deceased. Their bodies were located in the woods northeast to the Monon High Bridge. Autopsies of the girls ruled their deaths as homicide, and their wounds were caused by a sharp object. Investigators located Libby German's iPhone 6S under her body at the scene and were able to recover a video approximately 43 seconds in length, captured at 2:13 p.m., which is interesting because that is the date, February 13th. The video depicts Abby walking on the Monon High Bridge towards Libby while a white male subject wearing a dark jacket and jeans walks behind her. Near the end of the video, the man is heard in the video telling the girls down the hill. Through further investigation on the location of the bodies, investigators also located a .40 caliber unspent round. They also determined that articles of clothing from the girls were missing from the scene, including a pair of underwear and a sock. Through the investigation, there were interviews done with 3 of the 4 girls that were on the trails that day. The girls observed a male on the trails on February 13th that matched the description, the male in the video recorded by Libby. The 3 girls identified encountered this male near a bench east of the Freedom Bridge. The girls were on the trail and were walking towards the Freedom Bridge to go home. The male they encountered was walking from Freedom Bridge towards the Monon High Bridge. One of the 3 girls described the male as an older man walking on the trails as they were leaving, described him as kind of creepy. In a text from one juvenile to another, described the man as wearing, so in a text, that's new, right? In a text from Anna to Kayla, Annie described the man as wearing light blue jeans, like a really light blue jacket. His hair was gray, maybe a little brown, and he did not really show his face. But in a text, I think that was redacted.
I don't remember that wording.
Yeah, that was redacted. Investigator Steve Monon and Brent Ingram interviewed Anna, and she described the male wearing blue jacket, light blue faded blue jeans. The jacket was a canvas duck type jacket. Raleigh was also in the group of the 4 girls. She said hi to the man, but he just glared at them. She recalled him being in all black and had something covering his mouth. Raleigh recalled telling her sister that someone was in a grumpy mood. Interesting. I don't remember that either. She went on to describe him as not very tall and bigger build. She said that he was not bigger than 5'10". Raleigh went on to say in an interview that he was wearing a black hoodie, black jeans, and black boots. So most of the girls described the same thing, except the color kind of changes on some of them. She said that he had his hands in his pockets. An interview was conducted in 2020. She was able to show investigators a picture that she took on her phone on Monon High Bridge, timestamp of 12:43 p.m. Eastern Time. Bree showed investigators another picture she took at the bench just east of the Freedom Bridge when they were leaving at 1:26 p.m. Bree stated after she took the picture at the bench, they started walking back towards the Freedom Bridge. Bree stated that's when they walked past the man who matched the description of the individual in the picture. Detective Liggett believes that the picture that she is referring to is the picture law enforcement released of the man on the bridge taken from the video Libby captured on her cell phone on that day of the homicides. Bree described the man wearing blue or black windbreaker jacket. She stated the jacket had a collar. He had his hood up from the clothing underneath the jacket. Bree advised he was wearing baggy jeans and was taller than her. She stated her head came approximately to his shoulder. Bree told Raleigh, said hi to the man, and he said nothing back. Bree described the man as walking with a purpose, like he knew where he was going. Bree also stated the man had hands in his pockets and kept his head down. She didn't get a good look at his face, but believed to be a white male. As the girls left, they crossed the Freedom Bridge and the Railroad Bridge over SR-25. An individual by Betsy was returning to the trails to finish her walk. Betsy is seen on the video on the Hoosier Harv store on 300 North traveling eastbound to the trailhead to park at 13:46:20 actual time. So that's 1:46:20. So that's just before Abby and Libby would show up, or about the same time. Blair saw the girls walking above as she went under the railroad bridge. On September 21st, Leggett was provided with the tip. And this is the officer, Dan, that took Mr. Allen's statement saying that Mr. Allen was there. Everything's the same with this. Him just stating that he was there between 1:30 and 3:30. Though in the statement, Mr. Allen, he admits on February 13th he parked his vehicle at the old Farm Bureau building from 1:30 to 3:30 and was on the trails at the time. There was no old Farm Bureau building anywhere close to the trail. So it was really the CPS building. In 2017, Richard Allen owned the 2016 Black Ford Focus SE and a gray 2006 Ford F-150 or Ford 500. Upon review of video collected from the Hoosier Harp store on February 13th, investigators were able to locate that a vehicle that appears to match Allen's 2016 Ford Focus on the video at 13:27 hours actual time. So that's 1:27. And he got onto the trails at 1:30. Detective Liggett examined the timeline of the homicides and previously said that all the witnesses were leaving the trails and passed by a male matching the description of the male taken by Libby. Given the statements by Allen and the timestamp of the video from the Hoosier Harp store and the statements from the 3 of the 4 girls, Detective Liggett believes that the male and 3 of the girls saw, in fact, was Richard Allen. Allen stated that after he passed the girls and walked to the Monon Bridge, he saw nobody else. Investigators believe that after passing the Hoover Harp store at 13:46 hours, that's 1:46, she says there are no other cars at the trailhead entrance at that time, which would be the Mears parking lot. She walked back to the Monon High Bridge in a male matching the male from Liberty's video. She described him as a white male wearing blue jean jacket. This matches the blue duck canvas jacket Anna described. Blair said that the male was standing on first platform of the Monon Bridge, approximately 50 feet away from her. Blair turned around at the bridge and continued to walk. Halfway between the bridge and the main hub of the trails, she passed the 2 girls, Abby and Libby, walking towards the Monon High Bridge. Blair said that she believed Libby and Jerb that this was Abby and Libby. At 1:49, Hoosier Harp store video, there is a white car that matches Kelsey's vehicle. So they arrived at 1:49. Libby and Abby would have been dropped off right before this video. Oh, right, because you have the car seen at 1:49, and then they would be dropped off shortly. Blair finished her walk and is seen on the Hoosier Harp store video leaving westbound at 14:14 hours. So that's 2:14. Blair said she saw no adults other than the male on the bridge. As Blair was leaving, she noted a vehicle is parked in an odd manner at the CPS building. She said that it was not odd for vehicles to be parked there, but it was odd that it was backed in near the building. She said the vehicles often use south edge of the parking lot, so they were closer to the trail to get to the Freedom Bridge. Detective Liggett reviewed a tip from Terry. Terry was on his way to Delphi on February 13th on the Hoosier Heartland Highway at approximately 14:10. He observed what described as a purple PT Cruiser or small SUV-type vehicle parked on the south side of the CPS building. So this is just a witness driving on the Hoosier Highway and sees a car there at the CPS building. Terry said that he was backed in to conceal the license plate of the vehicle. During their interviews, both Blair and Wilson drew a diagram and had the vehicle they saw parked in the same general area and manner. An interview done with Sarah in 2017, she states she was traveling east on 300 North. This one's huge. She states that she was traveling east on 300 North. So this is the road that's just above the trail. Observed a male subject walking west, so back towards the CPS building. On the north side, on 300 North, away from the Monon Bridge, now this would be after the homicides, she stated that he was wearing blue-colored jacket, blue jeans, and was muddy and bloody. She further stated that he appeared he had gotten into a fight. Investigators determined from the video that she was on 300 North at 2:57 at 15:57 hours. So at 2:57, because she had been seen on video 2:57. So Richard Allen was interviewed by investigators on October 13th. This is when they came back. Now this is all the new stuff that was added. Yeah. I'm just seeing. Yeah, so that's where they kind of added in right there is they added that interview from October 13th where they brought him in and asked him, hey, can you describe what happened that day? And, we were told that you were there, you came forward. And so that's added in towards the end. So final thoughts, Steve.
Well, that's what we've been looking forward to, have some type of clarity of what was sealed and why was it sealed. And I still don't understand particularly why they sealed everything. I know they were continuing to educate the investigation early on, but some of this stuff, maybe about the admission, I could see holding that for a certain amount of time, but not this long. I could see that, but if they started on this back in, when was it? September when he first came on the radar, because and so you're looking at another 6 months investigation prior to the sealing of some of these documents. So, but anyway, I'm glad they're out there now, and hopefully it answers a lot of questions. It still doesn't answer if there's other connections between him and any of the other suspects.
Right.
But and how he was aware, and was it just a crime of opportunity versus a targeting of some of the CSAM stuff? And there's other documents out there that are still sealed, I'm sure. But we don't know. I have no idea what's all in these documents.
Right.
And there may be some clarity in that. So it's going to take a while looking at this, but I appreciate you having me here today. It's been extremely, it had everything I was wanting. I was wanting the two main things was a search warrant and the return. And
before we finish up, if you have any questions, we'll see if we can get a couple. If you have a question for Steve, we only get them seldomly. So if you have a question, let's see if we can get a couple in before we go here. And I just want to give some thank yous before we go. Of course, I'll be doing some videos on this. I'm sure there's more in here that may be overlooked that's interesting. But still fascinating to learn what they took from the home. The knives, that's pretty wild. A lot of knives that he had. I want to go through the clothing. I may do a video on the items, what they look like. That I think that would be an interesting video because they took a lot of clothing with a lot of labels. The brown hat with the short bill, I think that's very interesting. I don't know how much
because
stock
one of the witnesses described such a hat.
Right. And I'll just play the video of why, because a lot of people, there's a good portion of people. So there's two things, because I for those that have been with me for a while, I tried to recreate this just to kind of get a sense of if I could recreate some things. Is this, one of the big questions, was this a fanny pack that he had, or was this just a brown sweatshirt that's kind of hanging down? I've been on both sides because I've kind of made both work. I would lean more towards a brown hoodie than the fanny pack, but it's still possible. But this white thing that sticks out is I mean, next to the hat, the white thing that sticks out right here has eaten me up because I've tried to recreate that with a scarf. Now, obviously, with this bad pixelation, it could be 1,000 things and just not even look right, just because it's just terrible quality. But the hat with the short bill, that's one thing that's always been talked about is, is it a hood? Uh, is it no hat? It's just his hair. I mean, we've seen every kind of answer, but my guess is a short bill, and so the fact that they did find a brown hat with a short bill, I think is very interesting. That's what I think. What do you think? That's a great deal. And I know I think we asked you this before. Do you think a plea deal could be? We may not even see a trial, and he may.
I was talking about in a couple of my shows the other day about it appears that he is a defeated man,
Yeah.
and then this comes out, and so now we know, yes, he was defeated in April, and like I said, there's the disclaimers and there's notice to everybody that when you talk on those jail uh, phones, they're recorded, and then he would know that. Plus, who else? There's rumors that he has made similar confessions to others, even by the attorneys. And of
Uh,
course, they're downplaying it due to the fact that it's due to his mental status, and which is their only option right now. Uh, Defense doing their job, and we'll
right.
just see. Ultimately, it's going to be his call. It's going to be Richard Allen's call of what the defense will be, and if he wishes to change his plea or if he wishes to testify, it all lands on his shoulders.
Right. Now we did hear that this latest hearing where he was brought in, his wife showed up. Has shown up to every hearing. He hasn't had many, and she did show up. She was there at the last one along with his mother, I believe, but not the daughter, which I wouldn't blame her. I'm sure for many reasons you wouldn't want. She doesn't need to go through that. But apparently he normally acknowledges her, but this time he hadn't. And then one thing we also learned is since um, April 3rd, when he admitted to Kathy, his wife, that he committed the murders or confessed, supposedly confessed, however you want to put it, he has not talked to anybody since then, I guess, except for his attorneys, from what they say in the documents. So maybe, yeah, he has not been in contact with his wife since then, but she did show up to support him in the latest hearing. So, but no, I don't think I'm sure they're in some kind of secret protection. Have you ever had to deal with that, Steve, to help a family with that? Or know anything about that? Whereas how that works, or
And
Richard Allen's wife and family, because of his situation, they're kind of put in,
there's well, as far as the victim side, there's always within the court, and there's a support um, with the prosecuting attorneys. They have individuals that are trained to go out and help families of the victims. Now, as far as for the defense, I don't know about that. I'm
interesting.
sure that there are people out there uh, that do that, of course, because the families, what part they play in it, they can be absolutely have no part in it whatsoever, and no dealings, no knowledge, for the fact that there's a lot of crimes out there that people commit, and they don't always share all the details with their spouses, and we don't know what the case is on this one yet. So um, I leave my personal part is I'll just leave the families out of it.
Yeah,
And
Kimberly.
go after the offender.
Yeah,
Yeah, as soon as this live ends, it takes about depending on how long my live is, it takes about maybe 10, 15. Well, it just kind of depends, like 15 minutes to half an hour to upload. So once this ends, it'll go away for a bit and then it'll be on my channel as it uploads. Just see if there's a couple more questions and then we'll.
Yeah, the victim advocates. There's several programs to help victims, but I don't know
Sure.
about the on the defense side.
Cynthia, thank you so much. I it's lost somewhere, or I pull it up. Cynthia, thank you so much for becoming a member and supporting the show. And then thank you for gifting one membership. That is so awesome. And just once again, thank you guys so much for taking the time to spend your time with us and just playing a little bit of video here that Steve took because he's been out to Delphi many times and going to be going back again.
Yeah, I'll be passing through there in just a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Going to be working on the Evansdale case.
Yes,
Got some things.
We'll be heading up there on Lyric and Elizabeth's homicides.
Yep. So yeah, like I said, for those that are newer to the channel, we do more than just cover true crime. We go out and help, and we couldn't do that without your guys' support, donations, and stuff like that. So we thank everybody for the support, and I will be doing some follow-up videos. Gonna definitely. Oh, I recognize that little toolbox. Wonder what that is.
Yes.
People can't see it yet, but they will here in a second. I recognize that. But yeah, so I'll probably do some short videos, do all the interesting stuff, and then I think break down all the items that were taken from the house would be kind of interesting. And with that said, Steve, thank you so much for coming on.
Well, thank you. The wife is up. Mrs. Steve's upstairs yelling for supper. And so,
perfect timing.
Perfect timing. So anyway, I appreciate it. It's been an honor to be here, and I look forward to working with you. And I hope, I'll get to see you in Iowa before long.
Yep.
And y'all have a great night, everybody. You stay safe out there, and I'll see y'all soon.
Okay, Steve. See you, buddy. So thank you to Steve once again. The link to his channel is pinned at the top. He came on last minute to go over these files. And when this video ends, you can rewatch it in about 15, 20 minutes. It'll upload. And then I'll be doing some videos, short videos on just specific details. So, and it seems like everybody was really great in the chat. Thank you so much. That makes it easy on our mods because the time of day is kind of early, so most of my mods are working on other channels. So thank you to D. I'm not sure all of the mods that are here because there's so many in chat. So just shout out to all the mods that were here. And thank you guys so much again. And we'll see you guys Friday. And then, of course, I've got videos coming out with this. And I may do one more video with the Titan sub, kind of a final video for that. So sorry, I don't have any outros ready because this was just kind of a surprise live. So we're just going to end it normally. And we'll see you guys on Friday. Have a wonderful week. Love you guys.